Okay, so here we are, up to part 4 of my Dora build. This thing's starting to kick my butt and I'm still on the base. So I thought I better get some help. So I got me some help to finish up this base. I hope to finish it up in this part 4. So here's my new helper to help me sniff out the problems. Right here. Here she is. Her name's Molly. Our new little addition to the family. Yeah. Whoop, almost dropped her. Just as cute as can be. Say hi. Say hi. You ain't gonna say nothing. She's pretty laid back. Sweet little thing. She is half and half. She's half Shih Tzu and half miniature poodle. They call her a Shih Tzu. Yeah. I think she's got more poodle in her than she does anything. We just got her. By the time you see this video, we probably had her a couple weeks. But yeah, this is when I'm filming this video is actually only our 3rd day with her. Yeah, she's just as sweet as she can be. So, yep. Wife did it. She went out with her girlfriend, was out shopping, and saw this little thing in the window. Just had to have her. She loves being held. Alright, so let's get on to the model. I'm going to show you what I got here today. Still work, like I said, it's just time consuming. You know, there's so many, there's 112 railroad ties, and every one of them you gotta do something to. But I do hope to have this finished up in this video. If not, we'll be real close. I've got just about everything I need for it, and I've already got started on it pretty far along with the railroad ties. I got a little section left that I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So, all right, so let's get this camera turned around. Really, you want to get the camera turned around and get on these railroad ties and the rest, and the tracks too, and the rest of the thing. All right, here we go. Hold on. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here's where I'm at. What I done was I went out, and you can see I primered just railroad ties and the tracks. I tried to tape off the rest, you know, and just wanted to primer that area. That's all I'm interested in. And what I like to use is this Model Masters. It is a lacquer primer, gray primer. It's what most of the time I use this. I really like this stuff. It's good primer. Now, you know, you can watch a half a dozen other guys and they'll swear by some other primer, but I've had good luck with this. All right, so that's what I use for my primer. All right, now I've got a section here of about 9 railroad ties that I've got to do yet. So I'm holding off. I'm going to close in on this and show you how I got to this point. I've been experimenting around the center here, trying different things out, because this is all going to get covered up by the model. So you can see why there's a little difference in the center here, because I've been experimenting there. All right, so let me get close in on yous, and I'll show you what I've been doing, and I'll explain it to you on this set of tracks right in here, or ties, I should say, railroad ties. All right, so hang on, let me get you reset. Okay, so here we are. I've got 2 pieces of paper towel laid down so we can focus in on this one area. All right, now I've got 3 tracks, or I'm sorry, railroad ties that are not done yet, or haven't even started on. They're just primered. Then I got 3 railroad ties that I double coated with a magic marker. I'll show you what I got. And then I got 3 railroad ties that's only got a single coat on them. So you can see the difference. I hope it shows up. These 3 have only been single coated. These 3 have been double coated. All right. So let me get in the chair here. Get set up. Now let me show you what I bought. I bought these little magic markers here, and I've got to turn the camera around so I can see what you're seeing. I bought these little magic markers here. Okay. They are from Windsor and Newton. And I got those over at Hobby Lobby. Okay. They got a good supply of these little things. It's called a Pro Marker from Windsor and Newton. Nice thing about these is, on one end, it's got a nice big wide felt tip. And then on the other end, it's got a nice point. Okay? And that comes in handy, and I'll show you why that's nice. Alright, so here's how I do this. Now, these first 3 here, I'm going to go ahead and put another coat on them. Let me get my little Q-tip. Because you need this little Q-tip. Alright, and I just take the felt tip, and the nice thing about it is that felt tip is wider than the railroad tie, so you can get it in one shot. I just put it there and run across it real fast, okay? Now I'll show you here on this one, on the 3 that I haven't got done yet. Just put it on there. If you get it flat, it'll do it in one shot. So you see that? Now, let me go ahead and get these 3 here. And what happens is, when you come to the end of the stroke, it kind of puddles up a little bit. So I take my little Q-tip and kind of sop that up. Okay? Kind of hard to do this the way I'm set up here, but you get the idea. Alright? So let me get these here done. Like I said, it kind of puddles up when you come to the end of the stroke. So I take that little Q-tip and just touch it, soak it up. Okay, now those 3 have been double coated. So here's what I'm doing. There's like a little, I don't know what you call all this railroad stuff, where they spike it down to the tie. You just come up against that, go across that tie. Okay, sop it up a little bit. You just do each and every one of these like this. Quick and easy. See how it's kind of puddling up there? I just take and just touch it. Okay, let me get these all done. It's quick and easy. Alright, now I got them all covered. And like I said, these 6 are double coated. This one is single coated. Now I'll show you what I do. Let me put this cap back on here. Now we're going to take the pointy end, the real fine point. Now, this way, I just came up to that spike and whatever, that piece of metal. And what it does is it leaves a little spot here right alongside that needs to be filled in. So this little point here, I just stick it right alongside there and just bring it down it. And that fills in that little spot. And if you got anything around right up against it here. So I just find that little spot, lay my little point in there and bring it down. Okay. Now, on the sides of these connectors I put in the middle, I'm just going along the edge of them. That finishes up that tie. The other ones I already did. So I don't know if you can see that, if it's showing up, but I just come down right there, and here the edge of this one needs a little bit on it, and just come down. Okay? On each and every one of them. Now I'm not going to bore you to death with this, but I got to do the other sides too. Alright. But you get the idea. I got all these. Let me see, I didn't get these three. Okay, I got all those done on the one side. I got to come and do the other side. But you get the idea there. That's what that little fine tip comes in for. Now, this set in the middle has been dry the longest. So here's what I'm doing. Now I'm taking, and the color of this says cocoa. I guess the number would be 192627. That's what it looks like. It's called cocoa. Oh, here's a number. 0535. I don't know. Just go over and pick out the colors you like the best. Now, I'm taking this. Well, I got to get in camera here. I'm taking this Model Masters wood color paint. All right. And shaking it up real good. All right. Setting it down here. Unscrewing the cap. Now, I'm going to use the cap for this. Where can I put this? Where I'm in view. Right there. And I got me a small brush. Okay. Small brush. I'll tell you what, when you're zoomed in like this, it is hard to see what you're doing. Now, I'm going to stick this in this cap. And I'll tell you what, hold on a minute. I let it sit for too long. It's kind of dry. So let me clean this out with some lacquer thinner. Clean this brush up a little bit. There we go. Let me wipe it in my towel. Alright. I got a little towel here. I'm going to dip this brush in here. Get me some on there. And I'm going to do some dry brushing. Okay. So I'm going to get a lot of that off of there. Alright. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to dry brush these ties here. Just a little bit. Now if you get too much on there, you take your finger and just wipe across it. Okay. I'm just kind of, I'm kind of going at a 45-degree angle. Okay. And that hits the high spots on these ties. Because they got them detailed where it looks, you know, like real wood. Alright, let me get some more here. And we'll just go across these, alright? And I didn't want my ties black, you know, like you would think, you know, a lot of ties are like that when they're brand new. They come out of the oven where they creosote them. And I didn't want that. I wanted a little bit of a weathered look. See, I got that on there a little too heavy, so I'll just wipe my finger across it. But I got one more step coming that'll take care of some of this. Okay. Now these are the only ones I got left, is what you're seeing right here. I've done all the rest up to this point. Okay. Ones in the middle are completely finished. Let's see. I can go ahead. I think that magic marker's dry enough. I can do all these. Except for them first three. They only got one coat of magic marker on them. I'm going to hold off on them. I'm just going along, dry brushing the tops of these ties. Okay, with this wood colored paint from Model Master. Okay. And I'll tell you, you know, what I done was I got on Google and I just looked up painting railroad ties, model railroad ties. And there's all kinds of different ways to do it, all different colors you can do. But I seen a set that looked like this. And had like a dark brown and a light brown where they've been out in the weather. Okay. Almost done here. And then I'll show you my next step. And I'm kind of, like I said, doing it at about a 45-degree angle, and you can see how it leaves where the magic marker got down into them little grooves. Leaves that down there. I'm just trying to hit the high spots. Got a little heavy there. Just touch it with my finger. I think this is the last one here. Okay. Now I got that done. All right. Now, like I said, I got to put another coat on that magic marker. Let me clean my brush out here a little bit first before we go any further. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to clean this a little better. Hold on. I just got me some lacquer thinner. I think this is enamel, this wood color here. Let me clean this a little better, because I'm going to use it again for something else. Alright, let me put my lid on the paint. Let me see if it says, yep, it's enamel paint. This here is enamel. Alright, now for anybody that doesn't know, and I swear by this because I learned the hard way in the body shop business, and I know guys will tell you just the opposite, but I got lacquer primer, enamel paint, okay? That's okay. You can put enamel on top of lacquer. But if you do it the opposite way, if that would have been enamel primer and I was putting lacquer on top of it, you might have a problem. It might eat up your paint, make it crinkle. Now, if you let it set, let the primer set for a few days, yeah, you're fine. You might be fine. But to be safe, I always put enamel on top of lacquer, not the other way around. Okay, so we can take these towels away here. Like I said, I just got these 3 to do. I'll come back to them. Now what I'm using is a Vallejo Wash. Is that showing up? Vallejo Wash. All right. And it says it's for gray vehicles. It says it's a light gray. Well, you ain't going to convince me of that. This stuff looks black. All right. So I got this shook up real good. Now what I'm going to do is come along with this. Let me get a clean Q-tip. Okay, now I got the same brush again. Same brush. And I better realize where I'm at here. Now I'm going to take this wash, and I'm just going to go across the top of all these. Okay, lay it down on there. Just like this. Right across the top of everything I did. And hopefully this will help also get down into them little things. Then I'll come back, kind of wipe it up. I don't want a whole bunch of this. Okay. And that darkens everything up a little more. Still got my light brown showing through. But this also helps get down into them little crevices and helps darken them up. So I'm just brushing this on. Not real heavy, but heavy enough, you know. And then I'm coming along and just running my Q-tip across it. Get up the excess. Alright, I'll do one more. If I can think of where I'm at here. Am I in view? Yeah, I am. Just wipe this on there. I don't know, I might have done this one already. I can't hardly tell. I had a system to it set up so I could do it. But I'm just wiping it back off. Okay? Now, there's not a lot of difference between where I put these this wash on these 3 compared to the next. But it's enough that it gets down in them little little cuts in the wood. It looks like, you know, real wood, and it darkens it up a little bit more. All right. Let me see. Can you see this one over here? No, we're out of camera range. Let me see if I can pull this back a little bit. Let me see which one it is. Right here. This one's pretty bright. That brown got a little heavy right there. You just rub this on there, and it darkens that down just enough. And you think, well, I'm taking it all back at her. No, I'm not. I'm just getting off the surface part. See it? Kind of took it right off of that. But it's down in them little grooves. Okay? So there you go. That's what I'm doing. And I think it's turning out pretty nice. I know I've got some of them done down here in the middle, but I'm not sure where I'm at. So I'm just going to start all over and start that way and work my way down. So, all right. So that's how I'm doing my railroad ties, to get them, you know, to look a little weathered. Get this all done with this this wash, because that's just about all I got to do. I just got to finish up these three right here, get that wood colored on there, and then wash it all down with this Vallejo. Okay, and then the railroad ties will be finished. All right. But yeah, try out some of these. You know, I mean, you don't have to go out and buy. You can go out and buy your paint if you want to sit there and paint each one. Magic marker worked pretty good. Winsor and Newton from Hobby Lobby. Okay, and I bought a couple of them. I bought another one here called Terracotta, and I was going to use this for the inside of the tracks, a little bit of a rust color, and I'm not real happy with the way it's turning out. So I might go a different route on that. All right, but at least in about 15 more minutes, I will have the railroad ties done. Then I can start on the tracks and these little plates in the middle here, all these little plates. And I took, when I told you I was working on them, I took my sanding stick and went down across all them and got them knocked down pretty far. They're just barely sticking up. I can feel them. I might have one or two that I went a little bit too far, but 90% of this is going to be covered by the model. So I'm not worried about it. All right, so let me get this finished up and we'll be back. I'll probably be working on the railroad tracks next. Right here, railroad tracks. That'll probably be my next step. All right. Okay, here we're back. I don't know who I was kidding at the beginning of this video. I thought I would have all this done, but it's not going to happen. I'm probably going to have a part 5 to finish this up, and I'll show you at the end of this what I got planned. But I was looking for a color to do the inside of my rails to make them look a little bit rusted. And I was messing with everything. I was messing with some of my wife's oil paints over there and all kinds of stuff. I just couldn't find nothing that satisfied me. And I went through my stash of paint and I found this X34 by Tamiya. It's called Metal Brown. And I thought, well, I'll give that a shot. And that worked out pretty good. I was pleased with that color. See if I can tip it up a little bit. And you can see the inside of my rails. They kind of look like they're rusted. And it's kind of weird. It depends on how the light's hitting it. If you look at these, they got more of an orangish color tint to them. And I wasn't happy with that, but it's all the way the light's hitting it. So I went ahead and did all my rails with that. I took that real thin paintbrush I had. This one right here, and I thinned it down a little bit, and I was using that paintbrush right there and just went and got inside all my rails all the way down. And then I had to come back with this little magic marker I had. Remember I told you the Winsor Newton This is terracotta, and I had to get into each and every one of them rail joints there that hold the rail down and touch them up with that. And then after that, after it all dried, I went over it again with my wash. Now I know you're supposed to dull coat it or whatever first and then put your wash on, but I didn't. I just went ahead and applied it right away. So I got all that done. So now I'm working on the tops of my rails. And I wanted them nice and shiny. And I know from experience, you take silver paint and you brush it on and it just don't come out right. So what I'm doing is I went over and bought me some aluminum tape. Okay, this is by 3M. And it's got a paper backing to it. All right. So I cut me some strips out of it and laid them down, and I'm going to do this last one to show you what I've done. And I laid it down and then I burnished it with one of these hard Q-tips. They're real fine point and they're real hard. And then I went over with that. And then I just cut a little line wherever the rails join together at. Alright, so here's what I'm doing, and I've got a far shot and it's kind of hard for you to see, but this is a strip of the tape I got. Alright, now I got to peel an end of this back. This is a treat. I'm trying to get an end of this where I can peel it back. Okay, I got it. Now we're going to peel this back a little bit. Okay. I don't get it all curled up here wrong. There we go. And I'm just going to start on one end, overhang it on my rail, and just lay it down on top of there. And then push it down with my finger as I go. Making sure I'm staying on top of that rail. Alright, just like this, all the way down. Hold on, get curled up on me here. Get my fingers off of it, stuck to it. And I'm just pushing it down with my fingers right now. Alright, and I got it down on there real good. I'm going to go along, just really get it on there good and solid all the way down. Alright, just like that. And I'm going to take my knife, start down here. I don't know if this is going to be in view or not. I'm going to start down here at the end, cut me a little slit there. And then I'm just going to take it and just barely get my knife on there right along the edge of the track. Okay? Right along the edge of the track. I ain't got my hands in the way. Then when you come to these rail joiners, you got to be careful. And put my bifocals down. Alright. Where am I at here? Okay, here we go. You just run that knife right down along the edge of that track. There's a rail joiner. Okay, got past it. Comes another rail joiner. Got past that one. Alright, so I'm not going to bore you to death with this. I'm going to put you on hold. And when I get this done, we'll be right back. Alright, so I got it all trimmed. All I did was, like I said, I just ran that knife down along the edge of that track, being careful around every one of these rail joiners. And got it all trimmed off both my ends. And now I'm going to take this Q-tip and just go over it real good. Getting it all varnished, or whatever you want to call it, down on there real good. Okay? This thing works the best, this little type of Q-tip. Okay, and I got to do the whole thing all the way down. Okay, now I got to go along the edge of the rail, because where I cut it off, there might be a little piece of it sticking up yet, and I got to push down along the edge of that rail. So it all gets seated real good. When I come to these little joiners, I got to get down in there. That's where the point of this Q-tip comes in handy at. Right there is one where I got to trim it a little bit better. Let me get the inside of the rail. And this gets it down on there real good, better than what your finger can do. Alright. Like I said, this part of the model alone is going to take 5 videos just to finish up this. Alright, I'm going to go across the top one more time. Wherever I see a little bit of a wrinkle in it or something. Alright, then let me trim up this little spot right here. Little bitty piece of tape was on top of that joiner. I didn't like that. Okay. Now I'll take and seal that down. Alright, now I'm going to go along and find out where each and every one of these rails come together and just cut me a little slot in it. You can see it sticking through the tape where they join together at. One more. My head's probably in the way on this one. Can't hardly see it because this tape is so shiny. But this is the look I was going for. You know, the rails are real nice and shiny on top. And I don't think I could get that look with that silver paint. It probably would have came out too dull. Okay. So let me zoom you in on this, show you what this looks like. There it is. I like that much, much better. And you're not getting the full effect of it because the light's not shining on it right for you. But that's it. My railroad tracks and my ties are all done now. Now, I've had 2 guys write in and say, why don't I ballast my track? Well, I had planned on that from day one. Let me turn this around so I can see what you're seeing. Okay, so what my next step is I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take some real thin Tamiya tape I got and tape these rails off. And then I'm going to tape off all this section and I'm going to dull coat it. I put me a dull coat on there, but I don't want it to get on my tracks. Okay. And when I get that done and it dries, then I've got a couple plans here. I usually don't tell what I'm going to do ahead of time because I never know whether I'm really going to do it or not. Alright, but this area down here in the front, and I said I got this wide area here. Well, here's what I'm doing. I went out and found me some dirt. You might get this up here so you can see it. Went out and found me some dirt. And I had trouble finding this because I wanted this light brown color, okay? In my yard it's dark dirt, like black dirt. So I wanted this light brown. I managed to find some at a construction site. So I got it through the first stage of sifting. Now I got a lot of big pieces in here. I want to get it down to where I got some real fine stuff too. Big pieces, and that'll go down first, and then I'm going to sprinkle the real fine stuff on top of it. But there's some stuff I got to do to this before I even think about using it. And we'll get into that in the next video. And then I went out and I was looking for some ballast, okay? So I went over to the local hobby store and they had Woodland Scenics coarse ballast. I got to looking at it and the grains are really small. They're a lot smaller than what I got on there. So what I found was they had some of this, what they call talus, okay? Now the grains in there are much bigger, almost twice the size of that. And I bought two different colors. I bought a neutral medium and a gray medium. The only problem with this little hobby store I got, they have one bag of that, one bag of that, and one bottle of this, and that's all they had. So I had to order me a couple more bags of this here, and I think I'll mix these two colors together, okay? Now what I done was, when I got this home, I was messing with it and I was putting it in between my railroad ties. This is too big of a grain to get into them railroad ties. It doesn't settle down in there real good. So what I think I'm going to do, so I'm going to take these bags here. I got, like I said, I got 4 of them. Okay, and this one's open. I got to be careful with it. I got 4 of these. I'll mix them up, and I'll do my outer edges all the way around with this heavier stuff. Okay, and then I'll come along with this finer stuff and do up here in the tracks and sprinkle a little bit of it into this heavier stuff, okay? And I think that's going to work out. This finer stuff, I'll be able to get down in here a lot easier. All right, so that's my plan. Dirt here, ballast up here, and I still got to stain the sides of this yet. Get this all stained and sealed off. And that'll all be what's coming in the next part. So like I said, I usually don't give previews of what's coming, but a couple guys were writing to me telling me, well, I would ballast them track. Well, I planned on doing that from day one. I just didn't tell anybody because I don't, like I said, sometimes I change my mind, so I'd rather wait until it gets there before I do anything. All right. So, like I said, next thing for me to do is tape off my tracks, this silver tape, this aluminum tape, cover up the rest of it and take it out and put a dull coat on all this, okay? And then the next thing will be to do my dirt. I'll do the dirt first because the ballast should be on top of the dirt. So then I'll get that done. But like I said, there's something you got to do with this dirt before you use it. So I'll explain all that in the next video. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for this. Hopefully one more video and this will be done. I'm almost positive. I had a bad week this week. You know, we got that new puppy, and she has just turned this whole house upside down, trying to potty break her. And you know, I'm used to being up until about 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, now we got her. I'm going to bed at 11:30 at night, trying to get her to go to bed so we can get a halfway decent sleep without waking up in the middle of the night. So she's just turned our whole world upside down. But I wouldn't give her up for nothing. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it on this. So if you want to see me do some ballasting and do some dirt down in here, stay tuned for next week. Alright, thanks for watching.